Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Harm's Way Podcast. I'm your host, Craig. With me today, got some special guests. As always, my brother Eric across from me. My good friend, Justin, J. White Noise.
What's up?
And his
girlfriend,
Lauren with a Y.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you, by the way, Lauren.
Nice
We didn't
to
tell
meet
you
you.
earlier. All right, who wants to start this biatch off? Anybody? Any topics? Anything?
I just always love how we have just like really good conversations before we start rolling.
We were just
We
talking
do.
about
Like,
it.
we always capture them on camera, but we never get them on audio.
It flows good, and then I just Forrest Gump the fuck out of the opening, and everything just gets weird there.
It's fine. It's
cool. It's like I showed you my pee-pee, and then now nobody knows what to say.
Oh, so
I know
What did we say at that other place we worked at? It's like mommy hit daddy. It's like daddy hit mommy
it's
at
like
the
daddy
dinner
hit
table.
mommy at the dinner table, and now we're all still trying to eat.
Oh, that one always killed me.
And on
I
that
love
note,
not
Is
that
that
I
a show
bit-
title?
a little bit of background. I had to do a drug test and physical yesterday. Waiting on an offer.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was the whole.
Kansas City.
Yeah, sorry, Craig.
What?
The
I'm sorry, you got your balls touched, didn't you?
I have never been so happy to have a stranger cut my balls.
It's pretty cool.
It was fun. My eyesight got better.
You know it's bad when they do it, and you're like,
No, you could tell he didn't want to do it.
Eric's
Like,
so lonely, he moans
he's going
when he
through the
wipes.
paperwork. He's like joking with me and whatnot.
oh, is it he?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's fine. But yeah, like,
I usually get a woman.
you know, checks heart, lungs, and all that, and then he just kind of goes, "All right, let's check for hernias."
Like, yeah, you
Okay.
can
And
tell.
what I was thinking, I was like, he's just as like put off by this as I am.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I'm like, so could you be any less attracted to me?
Oh my God, buy me dinner first.
You were a little.
Is it okay that I'm hard, Doc?
I was just in like a really good mood. I wasn't like, I didn't think to like fuck with him or anything.
Did you do it while you were
I was
standing?
really just like, everything's going so well. Let's just what?
Did you do it while you were standing?
Yeah.
So I had a doctor one
No, I
time.
was face down.
Knew it. I had a doctor one time that did it when I was actually face up. Which I don't know if that's regular
That's happened to me
practice.
too,
Okay.
laying down
Good.
as well.
Yeah, and it was a she.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she wasn't bad looking.
Did it move?
Yeah, weird things happen, man. Like, if a man can get aroused really quick, and I learned that at that ripe age of like,
It was like a
16.
fucking trebuchet, fucking catapult.
just shooting a whole lot of nothing straight up. No, it wasn't that fast. It was more like I don't know, when you enter someone's house for like a holiday dinner, you know, you slowly step in to see, like, test the waters. That was it. But it was enough to be like,
Never had
whoa.
that experience.
Well, you just run into someone's house like, fucking hell.
Yeah, just go bombing in there like, hey, you invited
Where's
me.
the double egg, motherfucker? Like,
I mean, unless I wasn't invited.
whoa. Yeah.
Anyway,
Not
drug
walking out
test,
like Tyler
physical,
Perry's house.
passed with flying colors.
Nice.
Can't be experimenting with drugs anytime soon.
No.
So,
No.
Craig,
probably
you're
not.
on your own.
Not your best idea.
But,
Yeah, let's get some meth.
yeah, it was fun.
I
JK
wanna have-
followers.
I want to have a good time, not ruin my life.
JK. Oh, well, that's good for you. I'm glad you have a purpose.
We're playing downfield.
You're playing downfield and then you put a tall
I
boy
work
piss.
somewhere.
Did you
Yeah, I got asked about how much you chew, how much you drink.
say no?
It's always good to be honest though, because they'll know other. I'm honest with my doctors about yes, I smoke the marijuanas. Like I
The marijuanas.
yeah.
Wow.
I'll smoke them.
Yeah. They're all pretty chill about it though. Like most people actually these days will say, I don't care. We are looking just for these things. Like even
Yeah.
the plasma center, they're like, we don't care if you
Yeah, they
smoke
just care about
weed,
your health.
we don't want you to do cocaine. Like, got you.
Yeah, please don't do cocaine.
Stay
Yeah.
off of
Please.
fentanyl and heroin, you know, the
Yeah.
shit that's making people
I had to do
zombies.
the math in my head really quick, and I was a little off on the chew. I told him 3 cans a week. It's more like 4 or 5. But
That doesn't seem like
It's
it's,
alright.
that bad to me.
it's.
A tin of chew goes by pretty quick.
I was doing a can a week, and I quit for about.
Long cut does. Fine cut, long cut, all that
Right.
stuff does.
Typically, it was 2 cans every 3 days.
Pouch
Did that for the
kill.
longest time, and then all of a sudden, I think it's shit at work and just like fucking stress and shit. I was I was up to a can a day, and I was like, what are you doing with your life?
Can a day? How many tins did we kill in a shift?
I remember, like, if one of us didn't have any, we'd be tossing cans back and forth.
I walk in with a log at work every day.
Because you did that, what was it, Longhorn?
That's the cheap shit.
It's bad.
Just dirt.
What did you always chew?
Typically Grizzly, but whenever I was trying to save money, I would go long cut route too. But I like Copenhagen though.
I did Copenhagen.
Coke's good.
Yeah. When I was in the oil field.
Grizzly's not
I could
bad.
afford it.
Yeah.
Longhorn shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I haven't
Red
done it in a
Seal
long time.
is probably somewhere between Longhorn and Grizzly.
Seal.
Red Seal.
I've never had Red Seal.
We'll see.
Skull's probably somewhere between Longhorn and Red Seal.
Skull was great for the flavor. Skull was always the like super sweet, sugary
Don't
one.
they have like a ton of flavors too?
They
Like
do,
things you wouldn't expect. Like I used to wear sheets and I remember.
Yeah, like raspberry sorbet
Apple
or some
something.
shit.
Yeah, like
Actually,
that.
it had a cherry. It was
Yes.
wood blend or some shit like that. That was really good. But their it was like a candy apple one. Was my favorite.
New York cheesecake.
No, they're not that bougie.
No, not like that. I remember though the first time I ever tried chew though, long before we met, it was
Many moons.
it was Skull Cherry, and I got violently ill.
Yeah.
That was my reaction the one and only time I tried chew. It was just vomiting profusely. I did I was able to do the pouches when I worked in a factory because they went like no nicotine out of nowhere for insurance purposes, and we were all like,
sucks.
okay,
Yeah.
like,
Heidi.
Yeah.
Oh, down here.
Yeah.
Rachel tried the pouches. Well, you were there when.
Didn't she try to smoke
really?
and try to?
Yeah.
This was a long time ago, obviously.
And she kept drinking. I always told her, I said, all right,
Yeah,
whoever like
funny.
never did it
Beach
before,
nut in one side,
I give 'em one.
Copenhagen in the other, smoking a stogie.
and I tell them, I said, don't drink anything and don't smoke anything, and she just ignored me completely. It was like we were married back then, but we weren't. And then I walked up to her like 5 minutes later, and she spit it out, and she was like ghost white,
Yeah.
like whiter than she normally is.
We were
Like
at
she
her
was
mom's
on-
or something, weren't we?
Yeah, it was a party out there, and then she looked like she was on a cast of True Blood, and then the next thing you know, she was just fucking over the thing like.
Oh,
It was funny.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, okay, let me just take all devices and do them right now.
well, the first time I ever tried, I think is it Copenhagen whiskey blend. It was a long cut, and we were coming back from a game at Boardman in high school, and they were like, "Dude, try this Longhorn or Copenhagen whiskey blend," and I was like, "Oh, it sounds fucking wonderful!" And I put a fucking horseshoe in, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "I'm gonna die." I was like, we're like 13 miles from the fucking school. I was like, I'm gonna fucking die.
You're like profusely sweating.
Yeah, I'm like spitting. I'm like, I was like, it literally tastes like whiskey. I'm like,
What's
it's bad.
funny is like, I don't always like, not to get too graphic, I don't always salivate. Like at the same rate or whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll throw a normal size pinch in, and it's just dry, stinging, all nice. And then sometimes I throw a normal pinch in, and it's just like I'm spitting every 3 seconds.
Yes.
I don't know, dude.
And I'm in the car,
Yeah.
and I don't have a spitter
I don't know. You're flirting
because I'm ignorant. I
flirting
can't
with
tell
things.
you how many times I've pulled, like, I've gone down, like, I've been on 30 and I've gotten off at Raft Road, pulled up to the light, opened the door, and just, whoa, just like a waterfall.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, man, I wasn't going to make it the next mile and a half.
Yeah, right.
This shit I really don't miss.
But sometimes
gotta
it
do
doesn't
shit.
happen, and I'm just like, I don't know.
This dude will like sleep with one in and stuff. Yeah.
That's a recent development. I actually did that last night. Fell asleep for about 4
I'll
hours.
come over.
And what would you describe it? Like, is it like really raw? Like your mouth really raw after that? No.
Just dry.
Are you
Just
doing it
right.
on purpose, or are you falling asleep and like?
Both.
It's kind of me just not paying attention and just like I'll put on a podcast or something, lay in bed and have one in, and I'm just like grooving, and then I'll say, out.
Eric
And
likes
I
to
wake
live
up a
his
couple hours
life
later, I'm
a
like,
quarter
you
mile
shouldn't have
at a
done that,
time.
Eric. One of these days you're gonna choke. And
Yeah.
then like 2 nights later I do it again. I'm like, God damn it, get your shit together.
Really? Like my vape, I have it with me all night. It's a little obnoxious.
Yeah,
like,
like in the
I
middle
fall
of the-
asleep with it. It's a little different.
middle of the
than
night,
chew,
just-
though. Like I would feel like that would be raw the next day. Like
Fire!
Yeah, no, I'm just like,
Fire!
okay.
It doesn't really get raw.
Good.
Just my mouth gets dry, and like I can feel my teeth are all gritty and shit like that. But
Yep, don't miss
I'm
that.
surprised I
Sorry,
haven't
she's
choked
good.
yet,
Got it.
honestly.
So-
But I just recently started doing that like a couple months ago.
Right.
Just,
So 0 out of 10 would recommend to a friend.
I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it.
That's fair.
Because it
Eric's
still worries.
PSA, don't do it,
It
as he
still worries
fucking
me
does it
running
tonight.
the risk of choking.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like I swallow that thing in my sleep, and it just goes off like a grenade in my throat. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
You wake up hacking it. Like I'm not. Yeah.
Like, how'd your
Don't
brother die? A bomb.
Yeah, that's better than choked on tobacco.
In Guatemala.
I sleep with
Fighting
gum in my
cartels.
mouth. I can't sleep.
Are you guys all
I-
feeling
it's my
better now?
talent, actually. I can wake up in the morning with
I
gum in
mean,
my
like
mouth.
everybody all healthy.
Oh, that's pretty
Start
cool.
chewing it.
Oh yeah.
I've
Yeah, I got a clean bill of health. Blood pressure was great. My eyesight got better. Last time I got an eye exam, it was 2020. This time it was 2013. I was like, fuck. I don't know what those numbers
Fuck
mean.
this guy. I just
Yeah,
got
right.
new contacts.
No, we were just talking the other night about Rachel was
Are you
scolding
30
me.
yet?
No.
Fuck you.
Rachel was scolding me about not going to the eye doctor, and then I fucking get it.
Yeah.
I get a free exam, and it's better.
Fucking
I
hawk.
was like, I don't
over
know
here
what those
for a
numbers
brother.
mean, but I know the lower the better.
Yeah. Eric can count the fucking grains in the wall while the guy's asking him to read the bottom line. Like,
Yeah.
no, I actually just switched to the Canton South Eye Clinic. I just went there earlier this week. I had to get new contacts and stuff. They're pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, eye doctors. I wanted to go to the one over here in Perry that I went to since I was a kid, but they don't take my insurance, so.
Ain't that fun? I just got like a random. I went to schedule an appointment. They're like, "Yeah, we don't take your insurance anymore." And I'm like, "What?"
But I've went there since, and they're like, no, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Fine.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I like, but I have money. No, it doesn't matter. They're like, oh, you want to pay $86 for it? I was like, no.
Everything's going up.
Hey man,
Every single thing.
ain't United Health's money green? Huh?
I don't know.
Huh?
Money is green.
Their money's green.
You guys ever heard of true green? I was thinking green or green. It's true green. It's this like little thing. It's an optical illusion where you can see, because we only see certain colors on the wavelengths, and it's like super pigmented magenta and green, but you have to stare at it and it pops open. And ophthalmology and neurology, their connection to me is bizarre. Since we were talking about eyes, it makes me wonder what the fuck we can't see. I try not to think about it. Intrusive.
Oh yeah, we only see it in the visible light spectrum.
Yeah.
And there's like 7 others.
Right.
Goodbye, sleep tonight.
Right.
Thanks for that.
It makes me thankful I can't see in the dark sometimes, because if I saw like bioluminescent stuff like butterflies and shit, I'd be like maybe terrified.
Yeah. I like to do this thing where if I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I don't leave. I turn the light off in the bathroom and then I close my eyes.
Yep. I did
And then I open the door because I know if I turn the light off, open the door, I'm fucking like blind. Like somebody could be right in front of me with a gun and I'd hit my forehead first and I wouldn't know. But if I do that, I can actually like kind of see. But mainly because the dog sleeps right there, so I don't want to trip and go face first.
Sure.
Why the hell did you guys get another cat? Why? Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
Because they're amazing.
Pets are cool. Yeah, listen
I
to
mean,
Lauren
it's
with a
cute
Y,
and
you
all,
dick.
but what?
Listen to Lauren with a Y, you dick.
Yeah. Like, thank you. Lauren with a lot. That's what I always say too.
Justin, back
Hate
me
to
up.
be that
fucker.
person.
I got
texted
nothing,
me
bro.
your name,
You
and
know?
I was like, he misspelled that. And then he texted like again a little like after that, and I was like, no, there's Lauren with a Y.
Lauren
Okay,
with
a Y.
I've seen it before.
Do you want to know the story, the very uncomfortably true story of how my name is spelled this way? My dad told me when I was 16.
He was
that,
drunk as shit when he filled out the birth certificate, wasn't he?
No, it's worse.
had a
That
friend
would
that-
not be that bad.
I
I
had
could
a friend
accept
that
that.
happened too.
I am named after the spelling of his favorite porn star.
That's
Yep.
wow.
I know,
yeah.
right?
It's funny in a
I
good
almost
way.
forgot about that. You telling me that.
Like,
Mhm.
Oh my god.
I still find that funny in a good way.
So I'm
Right,
surprised
right.
that
I don't find it
he was
degrading or
fucking
anything. I
with
find
me.
it
I
funny.
really hope
Porn
that like
stars with a Y in their nose.
right 1990s.
I had
Oh, I've definitely seen it then. 100%. Sorry, go ahead.
I had a friend in college who his dad was kind of a drunk piece of shit, and when he was filling out the birth certificate for ethnicity and all that, he fucking checked every box.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That's awesome.
All right.
My kid's like a melting pot.
There really
buddy-
should be an application process. Not an application process, but somebody should be able to be in there whenever you're naming your child and go, no. Like, if you want to name your kid
Like
Alex,
a panel of
no.
judges.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, we
It
can't.
shouldn't be a slap on the wrist. It should be like a claw hammer to back of the head. Kind of vigorous tap.
Right.
And then the next one's a full-on
Oh, come on. Artemis is going to change the world.
As much as the nurse can summon, just...
You want Artemis.
Artemis is going to change the world. Cashton is so good.
Cashton.
I got to be careful with that one because somebody actually did... they didn't name their kid, but they told me about somebody wanting to name their kid that. And I was like...
I will totally openly trash people for the naming of
Yes.
their kids. If it's stupid, I will.
We named my
openly
kid
name
Charles. Like,
Charles is like that's a
it's a good Southern name.
It's a good
That
name.
was
yeah.
almost my kid's name. It was going to be Charles Cameron, and then my mom made fun of it and said it sounded like an old man's name, so I just switched it to Cameron Charles.
That's good too.
And now that he's who he is, I'm like, I could not see him as a Charlie or a Charles. I'm like, you're definitely Cameron.
See, I didn't think about
Cameron.
Charlie. Charles was our grandfather, so I wanted to keep the name in the family. And Rachel's dad's name was Robert. And so we did Charles Robert because I thought it sounded great.
That
strong
sounds
together.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't think about, honestly, like, I never thought about Charlie because somebody was like, oh, you know, what school system do you want Charlie in? And I was like, who the fuck's Charlie? And they're like, your son? And I was like, oh no, did I make a mistake here? But no, I like the name.
Damn.
Because I didn't, and like Charlie's grown on me because like I call him Charlie now.
Okay.
First like 4 years of his life, I don't think I ever referred to him as Charlie.
Charles.
I call him Chuckles, Chuck Bob, Charles. I said Charles already, my bad. And now Charlie. Or hey you, put that down.
Charlotte.
Stop running with scissors.
Charlotte.
Shalom.
Shalom.
But to answer your question,
What question?
because we want to and fuck you. No, I don't know. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing, and they found a nice little kitten to rescue. So.
Oh, the cat. I forgot to ask
What
about
do you
that.
think I was talking about?
I don't know.
I
We
love
went
how
on
you
for a while there. I forgot
back to
to
that.
ask.
Somebody has to have
Talent
substance in
there.
this fucking show.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be cultured.
You're doing great, Craig.
Culture.
If you haven't noticed, Justin's my enabler.
Fucking
Kind
like a bacteria.
I'm
culture.
totally a hype man.
I wonder if he was sitting on this side, if he would feel more like inclined to be on this side. Or no, you guys got the history, right? You were originally
Oh,
friends.
yeah.
This is
In
just
high
where
school?
we've sat though, too. Like the past two shows.
It's
I've
just
sat
like in
right
school.
here.
Once you sit there the first day, it's like
Yeah.
that's your seat.
See, I figured you would be more comfortable across from him.
You are absolutely correct. We've discussed this many times. I don't get people
Oh, yeah.
who sit next to each other.
I'm not gonna
I
make
wanna
you sit in front of
Whoa.
this.
eye contact.
That's fuck you. Rachel and I, so you guys go out to eat, you sit across from each
Yeah.
other. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Rachel and I fucking talked about that the other day, because there was this like sweet old couple, you know, that normally people are like, oh, you know, and then they're sitting next to each other. Rachel and I sit down, we're like, fucking losers.
Probably your body warmth because you get cold. You know?
Those old fucking bones with osteoporosis.
You know, I kind of feel like it's okay. If old people want to do that, they should be able to do that.
And they were like,
Yeah.
well, like, I think one of them was fucking left-handed too, so they're getting all fucking, I'm like, man.
Rubbing elbow. That's my thing. It's
You're
like,
that
I
old.
You know,
love
if they're
it,
that
but I
old
don't
though,
wanna
and they
wait.
still
No.
want to be next to each other, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that, like I said, there's an aspect of it
is
that's,
admirable,
you're
you're
cute.
right.
But, like, fucking sit across.
No, I
man.
probably would have said the same thing in the moment though.
How'd you know if one of them died? They could have just slumped over. You're
There's
just fucking eating your
spoons
grits.
around. You
Like,
stick it up under their nose.
no, but if you're across from them, you can pay
Condensation.
attention. You can look up from your grits and fucking see. This is gonna be wonderful.
So you and Rachel don't sit side by side?
No.
Is it because
Have you
you
seen
need-
the size of me?
I was gonna say, is it because you need the whole booth for yourself?
I can't wait to be skinny. I'm just gonna flick you in the dick every time I see you.
You being skinny is gonna make me work harder than ever before.
Good.
I can't have you be skinnier than me.
Can't outshine.
I'm gonna be like a Greek god in 2 years,
Okay.
Make it happen.
or I'm
Leave
gonna
it when we
die.
see
I'm
it.
gonna die of alcohol poisoning.
Realistically, I'm gonna eat 6 sandwiches, shit myself, and then pass out on a Tuesday night.
When did I become Mike Tyson?
No, that wasn't Mike Tyson. My previous show, that. Well, you remember. I used to do a killer Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you did do it.
I eat Lennox Lewis's children.
That's so fucking wild.
I do smoke weed and fuck bitches.
Yeah, so that guy I was talking about earlier that parodies the Twitter accounts,
Yeah.
I parodied Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen.
Another one he did was he started parodying like Macy's and Target and all them, and he got them like tweeting at each other.
Oh my
Yeah.
He started like a fucking war.
A lot of people
Wow.
do that.
Don't
You know,
they have people that like work in that specific kind of department to like make sure they handle the social media, like doing some digging?
like they
to,
should have the
Like the
domain,
Wendy's
like the
person?
main name.
Yes,
Yeah.
the
Remember the
Wendy's
Wendy's
ones, they're
person?
savage.
That started out as fake though, didn't it?
I
And then
don't
before
really know.
Wendy's actually hired somebody that
I would
could
believe it was
fucking
fake
roast.
and more than real because these companies are hoity-toity sometimes. They're not trying to offend the masses.
Which one was Trump at first? Because remember his shit was his legit or was it?
What are you talking about? When he was on Twitter?
Yeah, his Twitter shit.
Oh, it
His
was
original-
legit.
Oh yeah, I
Like-
think he literally ran
Oh,
his own
fuck.
Twitter.
Did he really?
listen,
Okay.
because he had the tweet about Rosie O'Donnell, and they asked him about it in a press conference, and they were like, "You called women fat pigs?" And he was like, "Only Rosie O'Donnell."
Just her.
Like he fucking said it during the press conference. Yeah, that was him. In all his glory.
She lives in a barn.
Oh fuck, he
The dude was entertaining regardless of
It was like
accomplishments or failures. He was hilarious.
I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, there's a hard line. Like, half the country thinks, "Oh, he's fucking hilarious." The other half is like, "That's why I didn't like him, man. He just, he just
Say
couldn't keep his,
whatever.
he just couldn't keep his
Shit.
mouth shut." I'm like,
kills me is so I have this like
It-
like I don't know how to describe it. Like I hate rich people because I'm not rich. Obviously, like if I was rich, I would fucking love rich people, right? Maybe not. But like I hate rich people. So like him, like the dude's got it all. Like, and he was like somebody. I feel like somebody at a party bet him and was like, "Hey, I bet you can't be president." And he was like,
"Oh no.
You know what?
No. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Obama."
That's
Trump,
what it
Trump
was."
said something to him, and Obama was standing up at the podium, and he goes, "You know what I am that you'll never be? President." And it's not like it took 16 years. No,
Oh
it was
my
the next
God.
goddamn term.
I didn't know that.
Trump was the fucking president of the United
So
States.
I'm half
Well,
right.
he's still like
without
the
being
first
educated.
president. He's still the first president who hasn't had a second term
I mean,
in like what 3-4 presidents.
Yes.
Bush Senior, I think, was the last one. But that was like the biggest flex of all time.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Obama's like,
Since you brought that up, I gotta get this joke in here real quick. Did you know that Stetson Bennet voted for Bush Senior? It's a joke about how fucking old he is. Go ahead.
I don't know who that is.
He's a
It was
quarterback
never
for
justified.
Georgia.
He's
University
older
of
than
Georgia.
7 active starting quarterbacks in the league. 6.
Oh yeah, Eric.
He's
that-
older than
Let's
6
just say
quarterbacks.
this: you don't have to just be 18 through 21, 22 years old to play college sports.
Is this like a red shirt thing?
You
Yeah,
could still
it's
be
eligibility.
you
You
could
could,
still play
yeah.
collegiate football if
Oh
you
my
wanted
god.
Yeah.
I can
just
finally
have to
realize
try
my
out.
dream.
to. Justin and I were 6 months past. Well, you have to be athletic, but we're saying based on his age.
I can get
I'll be
moving
a
pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
He just said, "I'm gonna be a great god." Like, bro, okay.
Alright. How old is this guy?
So Brandon Whedon was 29 when he.
I didn't ask about Brandon Wheeler.
I'm
I asked
fucking-
about
I'm
this.
that was
measuring.
coming. I knew
Working
it.
up
I think
to it.
is he 29?
I don't know his age, but I do know he's older.
But yeah, with the whole COVID thing, they give you an extra year of eligibility to play football for college.
22 plus 1 equals
Why are you
28.
struggling like that? 20?
So he's 28?
Yeah, he's probably 28.
Well,
But
help me with the math here.
Okay,
They
so
give you
let's
an
just
extra
say,
year.
Yeah,
so
okay.
22 plus 1 is 28 now?
so you
So
be
when-
redshirted.
Yeah.
You get the extra year of eligibility, and then you have like injury shit. Like you can sit out a year for injury, and it doesn't count. It used to be. Oh fuck! What was it? 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had 5 years of eligibility. That clock started when you started playing football for whatever college you went to. So you had a redshirt year that didn't count towards that, and then you had any injuries in between. So if you sat out a year for injury, it didn't count towards that, so you could keep going. Well, what COVID did was it threw another year on there, and then all the other restrictions they had on you could enter the transfer portal and do all this shit, and that not count towards your time either.
Because theoretically, they just lost a whole year,
Yeah.
so they're giving
A lot
them
of-
that year
yeah.
back.
Unfortunately, I haven't had any injuries.
Bro, that was like...
Unfortunately?
yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Unfortunately. Like, what, do you want to be in a wheelchair?
That is literally that episode of King of the Hill, where they like redshirted Bill for 30 years or whatever, so he could go back
Yeah.
and get his touchdown record that was
Yeah.
stolen from him.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's such a good
That's
show.
literally what it.
Literally
it
underrated.
is.
Underrated, yeah, very much so.
I went and did my interview the other day. I came home. It was like early afternoon, and Mom and I just passed out in the living room watching King of the. They had a marathon on FX, and it was just fucking awesome.
Nice.
American
It's
Dream right
just
there.
a
I was gonna say that
fun
sounds like
time.
real
Really
life,
is,
man.
Yeah.
And then
It's a shame I woke up.
since you talked about Stetson Bennet, I mean, sports gambling's legal now in
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, some people have ruined their lives already.
No way. Oh,
I wish you had a story for
So-
that. I bet you don't.
Bernie
but-
Kosar, but yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah,
That's
Bernie
the biggest
Kosar.
one. We thought he did so much for the fucking... and he bets on fucking... Oh, granted, okay. You can't... It's like
What
when
was his
they
job?
legalized weed. All right, so many people went out fucking smoked weed and then they popped on drug tests and got fired. And they're like, "But it's legal." Yeah, but it's still against company policies.
You can't be
That
high
still
driving a
holds
fucking Ford.
true
Yep.
for NFL franchises.
Right.
He found that out the hard way.
What was his job?
He's like, fuck, I don't know.
Commentator?
He did everything. There's certain jobs you
Did he work for
have.
the Browns?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's certain jobs you have where you're like you're tenured and like you can't really be let go unless you gamble.
Well, and their argument behind it is okay. So he has like an inside look that a lot of people don't have at the Browns.
It's insider trading.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I
almost
get it.
like insider
Yeah.
trading.
I was just
Yes.
thinking. I was like, wait a minute.
He could be.
He's
He
kinda-
could know something like, oh, hey, this dude's not going to be playing because he's hurt, but they haven't announced that yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this bet down now because
Yeah, kinda
guess
like
what
Pete
we're going
Rose.
to lose. Yeah, Pete Rose
Yeah, that's
still
two,
should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's two inner circles that don't mix.
And he should have known.
I was
that.
just wondering. I was like, he's just.
But
some
Bernie's
guy,
been-
average Joe, not average Joe, but he's just got a job somewhere. What the fuck's the big deal about him playing?
Well,
some
he fits
blackjack?
right in
Well, he
Cleveland.
gets so he gets royalties, and he played so long in the league that he gets pension and all kinds of shit like that. Guys that made little money back then, they're making substantially more now. But he also had
crazy.
endorsements. He was a Cleveland man. He's fucking was he Ohio born and bred? But he played in Miami.
Yeah, he played for the University of Miami.
Yeah, which was sad.
but I think
whatever.
he's from Youngstown.
Yeah, that's right. From Youngstown, so he's got roots in the community. Now he can still go do shit because he's a famous former football player, QB. But he's done so much for the franchise. It's a little hard for them to. I feel like their hands were tied, and they were like, "Hey,
Yeah,
we don't
they-
want to do this, but
Yeah.
we fucking
he
kind of
fucked
have
up.
to."
Yeah, he
fucked
fucked up.
up.
And
It makes sense.
But how does
Day
Robert
one.
Kraft get a handski from a tranny and still hold on to a fucking team? How does Urban Meyer get
Bro, they let him
openly?
walk. The FBI or whoever fucking blew that shit up, they let him walk.
There's all kinds of
Was
shit.
he
Yeah,
doing
dude.
anything illegal?
He was visiting. It was one of these massage parlors where they were.
I mean, he owns an NFL team, so no matter what you say or what he does, to a certain degree, it's the same thing. Like, hey, you rep this company. No matter what you're doing, you gotta watch, how you act in public. You're the fucking owner.
I could see him
But
being
it
in trouble.
wasn't in
team.
public. Where did these pictures come from?
I don't know if were they
It was,
pictures or video.
it was surveillance video of him frequenting a massage parlor. But the thing is, he's a team owner, so
He's a team owner. And
I can understand like the league being pissed,
he owns businesses in
but
Boston.
like he owns the team.
But he
You know, he's
owns
top
other
guy.
things.
Like there's really nobody to like bring a hammer down on. But like the league, his relationship with the league, I can see how that could be.
But nothing.
But it didn't fucking matter.
Nothing
The
happened.
other
It didn't
owner- the
fucking
other
matter,
owners could've-
man. It didn't matter. The fucking FBI let
If
him
you wanted to buy an NFL franchise, like first of all, you never could. It's billions of dollars. Like even the worst one, billions of
Give
dollars.
the Browns a couple more years, we might be able to afford them.
But I'm sorry, lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Robert Kraft. The fact is, the owners, they choose who gets to be in their club. So like, let's just say the Ravens or whatever are up for grabs. The owners will vote whether or not you can actually buy that franchise or not.
Really?
Yes,
They can.
it's strange.
Wow.
Yeah, they can essentially, for lack of a better term, trump you.
Yeah.
Based on what you've done. But now there is a hierarchy. So obviously in that boys club, if you will, or whatever,
Browns probably not very
where
high.
do you... No, fuck. The Haslam.
Yeah, the Haslam.
The Haslam's... No.
Actually, the Haslams, they had like investigations and shit against them.
They're bottom rung.
They own
dude.
that.
Pilot Flying J.
Yeah.
They're
There was
barely...
a bunch of shit going on with that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
Embezzlement.
But they ended up getting in trouble, so they're probably not in good standing.
They're not. But at the top, you probably have Jerry Jones. I mean, he fucking owns 2 cities. And
Jones Death Star.
yeah, Dallas and
Jerry
Fort Worth
Jones.
are literally in his pocket. Jerry Jones I honestly
The
do it.
USS Jerry Jones.
I think he could walk up and just hoof Lizzo right in the front butt, and nobody would fucking say a thing.
I would
Because
appreciate
Why
the
Lizzo?
shit out of him if he did that.
I don't know. This is the first thing. Do you not know how this works? And this is years of emotional abuse. Crippling mental capacities. I can't even talk. Deteriorating mental capacities.
Every day.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And
It's
then,
the alcohol.
Yes, it is. But it's
For
literally
him, it's the
dry.
I'm not
alcohol.
going to stop either. Don't worry.
For me, it's the lack of alcohol. Anyway.
Oh yeah, why don't you have a beer, Craig?
Oh, I don't know. My brother didn't bring me any. Selfish fuck. I'll let it go, though. Yeah, so I think that's...
Okay, so how many followers are we at right now
For what?
for your show?
700.
Total, if you take all of social media and everything?
Sure.
Like 30. It's not great.
So we're
but
not any
it's-
closer to Eric getting a tattoo.
No, that's probably never going to happen.
I never
He'd
agreed to
fucking
that.
Welch on that, dude. The
We
needle would be
Welch,
like,
I
he'd be
never-
like, "Mm," he'd be like, just kidding.
I never agree. Oh, you're saying I can't handle it? Oh,
No, you
Oh,
can't
wow.
handle it.
I don't want a tattoo.
I know, because you can't handle it. That's
How about you just like? How about you just like
what don't you get?
take a bat to my ass for like?
Whoa, I don't know what you're into, but
I almost said back, but then I was like, that sounds stupid. And I,
take a
the
bat
next,
to my
The
back.
next word that was
I
in
don't
the
want
queue
to
was
fucking
ass
cripple you. Well, either way, the ass too, but that's...
or brand.
Are you
Ooh,
worried it's
brand
gonna
might be
hurt?
fun.
Why don't you want a tattoo?
It's literally
I just don't want one.
a tattoo that hurts worse. A brand.
Yeah, why? So you tell me
Nobody
you'd
does
be
that,
okay
though.
with
That's
a
Nobody
brand?
fucking does.
Oh, people
But they're
do
really
brands,
cool.
yeah.
I kind of bring it back. I would do a brand. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll get a nice little heart right there.
Oh my god.
Didn't they do that on Jackass?
Yeah,
Where
they
they had,
branded
like,
a dick
a
on
dick,
it.
yeah.
It was a dick. Yeah,
They kept jumping around
It
while
was like
done.
it looks like a
He's
He's like,
hologram.
hold still. It's like 5 of
It's
them.
like he got like a dick in shadows.
Yes.
Now he's just always never really. I have some,
When he
but
went and
I can
showed
never
that-
talk him into it. I don't know why.
When he went and
Showed
showed
his
that
mom.
to his mom,
Oh yeah.
it was all bloody and scabbed. Oh, it was fucking awful.
Did you know the best part
He
though?
pulls it down, it looked like he had deuced in his pants. Like, it
Yeah,
was
it
all
was just
fucked, man.
Terrible.
Your skin heals weird. Falls off
She
weird.
just sounded like a typical
Why she's screaming at him.
disappointed parent.
Well, I mean,
She's like, you had a nice butt, now you ruined it.
yeah, that was weird.
Why are you worried about that, Mom? Like,
Thanks, Mom. That's on camera. Forever.
Forever.
I want some more tattoos, obviously.
I don't know. I appreciate tattoos as art because you just see some just amazing works of art that get put on people.
Not me.
But I also think they're a waste of money.
I have a very hard time prioritizing money for tattoos. I'm 33 and I've got like a couple on my arms, but I've always wanted to have sleeves, and I'm not getting much closer to it because it's hundreds of dollars.
It is.
I have so many other better things I could do with that money.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, somebody paints on a canvas, you fuck up, or it doesn't turn out how you like. It's like, whatever. You're tattooing a human being. It's like, you got one shot, asshole.
yeah.
You better get
You
That's
that.
know,
pressure.
You just cover it up. There's plenty of people who have cover-ups, and do cover-ups. Not
Yeah,
that
you gotta
common.
come back and do.
But then
you
you're
know,
paying
you gotta,
for it twice.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
come back and do shit later, and what I mean.
I wouldn't want to cover up on one of those shows. Like, that's the only way I'll ever get a cover up.
No, I don't. That just gives me anxiety. Like a camera on me getting tattooed because I'm a fat. Like I already get this weird like rolling titty sweat. Like imagine a camera on me and then they just constantly come over and they'd be like, "How's it going?" And I'm like, "It's good." Like, just drowning in my own fucking fluids. Yeah, he's got to like wipe off and put a fan over his shoulder and shit just to dry me off. No, I don't.
Sweaty Eddie.
Yeah, I do like those shows, but
Sounds
yeah.
gruesome.
No, Rachel and I go to the same guy, and it's cool because he doesn't have like crazy ass rules. I wanted to check. I checked this one place out, and nothing against tattoo artists because obviously it's their business, it's their fucking they're artists. But this guy had so many. He literally his website was dog shit. All right, it had. Like a list of his work. It said my portfolio, and you click, and he's very, very talented, very good. It's just him that works there.
Apparently.
Huh?
I said not with websites, apparently.
No, the website was stupid because it said click on, and then you click on something to go to like rules, and he literally had a page of fucking rules. Like, I mean, you had to lotion your skin
No
for up to
jerking
6
off when you're
weeks
in the
before.
chair.
That's kind of like given.
I don't
kinda
know that
Social
world.
stigma.
I don't know that world.
Eric's like, "Zzz,
I have
do
no
am I good?
tattoos.
Am I good doing this?
So if the people choking themselves and jerking off, maybe it's just you're.
Well,
you're
you
just
leave
getting,
Robin Williams.
You're
out
getting
of
angst,
this.
and you're like, yeah.
Oh, so you're like you're talking about being really into it.
You're really into it.
Oh, yes.
So that's twice you brought back autoerotic
Oh wait, isn't that
asphyxiation.
David Carradine?
Oh fuck yeah, he died too.
Is it not Robin
Autoerotic.
Williams then?
No, Robin
No.
Williams just.
My
I don't know,
bad,
I don't remember
guys.
Robin
how he
Williams
did
just like two to
suicide,
the
but it
dome,
was-
done CIA style.
Anyway, so this guy you had to lotion your skin up to 6 weeks before. If you didn't, he could tell, and you wouldn't do the tattoo, and you lose your deposit. Like, and I mean the rules went.
Is he a big
fucking
fan of like
on.
Silence of the Lambs or
You
something?
had to,
Or-
you had to show up alone.
The hose
You were
again.
allowed to bring no one with you. You had
Oh.
to send in your $150 deposit, which if you were 1 minute late for your appointment, he kept, and you had to repay to open up another slot, which is slots were 6 months out. So people are obviously paying, or this guy just fucking schedules like an idiot. But these rules went on and on and on, and I'm like, I got like halfway through the page, and I was like, no, I would never have you tattooed.
I thought you just
Wow.
walked in and were like, yo, man.
That's the place we go to.
I would literally
Dude
be
takes
like,
a
who the
smoke
fuck do
break
you
every
think you are?
15 minutes. It don't matter if,
Yeah, it's pretty
if he's going
pretentious.
over
Yeah.
scar tissue or whatever. He just fucking slaps you down, and he'll knock out like he'll do sleeves in like
I'm sure
an
this
hour
guy
and
had
45
good
minutes.
intentions.
And he's younger.
You
Yeah.
gotta know your crowd. You gotta. Like,
It was
your
just- it was
customers are not
very-
gonna deal with that.
Yeah,
Maybe he
very
just got fucked over
off-putting.
a lot.
And
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
it's in like Canton, and he's treating it like like he's on Redondo and fucking. I flopped. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. He's like out in L.A. doing like celebrities and shit. Like, bro, you're Northeast Ohio. Like, you're tattooing kids named Kyle and like dudes that are paying for this with like fucking bar mitzvah money. Like, and he's treating it like it's fucking, like he is on one of those shows. And I read it and I was like, man, you got it. Like,
You got me fucked up.
yeah, and I forget the name of it honestly.
You got headbands.
I got this a while ago at Target.
Oh.
My fucking hell.
Target, yeah.
My fucking hell. Okay, so yeah, so holidays are always rough for me because it's the amount of shopping you have to do, and then post holidays, where the money that you get from shopping or the gift cards or whatever, you want to go spend. So Rachel likes to trick me. She says, "Hey, let's go to lunch." Okay, we'll go to lunch. Oh, I'm gonna go to Walmart and Target too. And
She's
I'm like,
smart.
what?
She's smart.
And
She
she's
knows
like,
your
we're right
house.
here at Target.
Both,
She's
or-
like, I'll get you Starbucks. I was like, I'm not a basic white bitch. I don't fucking care about Starbucks.
Did you want
You
the Starbucks
bribing
though?
me?
Yeah, I fucking wanted Starbucks.
I do it.
So I'm like, all right, cool. And she goes in, and she got Charlie loving Target. That's his favorite
no.
store. And then she's like going through, and I'm like, she listens to this, she's gonna kill me. But she's going through. She just takes her time, and I'm always behind. I'm like dragging ass, and that's where we ran into. We always run into people we know at Target too. And you get like 15 minutes in, flop sweat starting. I'm uncomfortable. Anxiety kicks in because people won't fucking get out of your way in the aisles. And I gotta do my best not to fucking, strangle somebody. And then we get out. I literally I feel like I finished a 2-a-day back in the day. Like I'm just mentally, physically fucking warped. And I hate it.
And you want. One time I actually shit myself in a Target. Probably the one that you frequent. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Target, I will say they always got good bathrooms though. Bathrooms are pretty
Well,
clean.
True.
I don't like going in there. I don't know if it's like the low lighting or whatever, but it just
It's too much
feels,
red for you.
No, it just feels.
It's-
I think it's the
Harsh
lighting.
lighting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it just
harsh.
it feels like
Is
a
it?
gross place. Like I'm in
When
a
you look at
Saw
your-
movie or something.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't like it.
Like if you look at
Super
look at yourself
white,
in
like
the mirror
sickly
next
white
time you go into
kind
that
of?
bathroom.
You feel like
I always feel-
Target's doing really bad every time you walk in there.
They're always
I think.
renovating.
I'm always like, it just feels kind of like the feeling you get when you're like walking into a hospital. You're like, I don't like all this sterile shit.
You don't like the clean
For
stuff.
some reason, Walmart is more appealing. to me.
No, are you fucking?
I'm talking
agree.
about the
I don't know what it
setting.
is.
I'm
The
talking
whiteness
about the
freaks
setting.
me out.
You guys
That is a
think that
man who has
Target-
gone to Maslin Walmart
I am-
his whole life.
I'm talking about the setting, not the people. there's nobody in the store, I'd feel
yeah.
better walking into Walmart. It just makes me.
You, sir, need to go to the 62
That's
Walmart.
why I think it's fuck that. I think it's the lighting or something, man. It makes me feel like
everything's red.
It's a weird place
Like,
to be.
White and red.
low.
I think
It's like lower
Walmart is
lighting
more
and shit.
vile
You know.
than Target. Sorry?
You know those little red, like, balls they have outside of
Yeah.
I don't
You
care.
ever kicked one?
Okay, listen, I've knocked one of those things off of their
You
little
did?
stand, yeah. It rolled out into the road and I was trying to stop it. And I was just like,
I
walk
would
away.
shit
I
myself
would walk
watching
away.
that.
I didn't think they moved.
yeah,
I was
they
joking.
moved. Oh yeah, because I was like fucking around with it. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna fucking push it. And
You know what I would've
comes
yelled?
off the thing.
I love you to death, but I would have yelled, "Ooh, he's stealing! He's stealing!" Like you're gonna fucking roll it to your laundry
You
or
can't
something.
pick this up. It's really heavy, but it is.
Well,
easy
yeah,
to
but you
roll.
can knock him off, yeah,
But
because it's a
I didn't
giant.
know
I got
think
it back
they're
in there
hollow.
and tried very hard to act like it didn't happen.
I think they're hollow. I think they do have like maybe like 6 inches of concrete to make them up, but I'm pretty sure they're hollow because
That would only make sense.
do you know how that would be tons?
I always
Yeah.
thought
Literally.
they had a chain.
I thought
Anchoring 'em.
I did too.
You know,
I didn't think
budget
this was
cuts.
going to go anywhere. No.
Budget cuts.
Oh my god, man, that's awesome.
Which
we
the
gotta go do
Maslin
that.
one?
Yeah.
That is awesome. I love you so
That'd be a
much.
great video. We all just go there and do all of them.
Oh my god.
Just roll them across the
The fucking ball.
just-
Yeah, just run
and
up
I
into the
mean-
woods on the side.
Can you imagine that on Jordan Miller News?
Would we get charged for property destruction?
You know what the problem is?
No.
I'll give him a shout out because I really love him.
I'll give
But,
it a listen.
So, well, you just follow him on Facebook and stuff, but I think he's from Minerva, but he takes care of like all of the area's news. You know, a repository you get on, you want to read an article, and it's like 16 dead. Not that really happens, but and you're like,
Feels
oh my
like
god, and they just end the article with he was holding up, and like. You want to fucking know, like, what was he holding, bro? And they're like, buy our article for $7.99. And you're like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't like
Well, he's
that.
against that shit, so he actually has the in with all of like the police departments and news media and stuff like that, and he just runs a massive media news thing from his house.
Okay.
And
pretty
he's
dope.
yeah, he does it anywhere from like Tusk County all the way up to Cleveland.
Does he mention good news?
Yeah,
I hate the fucking
Well, yeah,
news, dude.
so
Like,
he covered the
Oh, yeah,
DeMar
news
Hamlin.
sucks.
He covered the DeMar Hamlin stuff, and every time there was an update, he'd put something on Facebook. He did the Peyton Hillis thing, which I wrote on here for us to talk about, because most people didn't know that Peyton Hillis apparently saved his kids from drowning and almost drowned himself, and he had to be fished out. His kids are good, but he was in the ICU. I think he was maybe in a coma for a couple days, but the water done fucked him up. But yeah, he's
Yeah,
good
his
now. I
priorities
guess he's
straight.
coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He
what
saved
better
his
way to
kids,
drown
yeah.
is saving
Yeah.
your fucking kids? I mean,
I just hope he doesn't have like extensive brain damage from that.
I don't-
from
and
the
I-
lack of oxygen to the brain.
I can't find like an in-depth article. Jordan Miller, he's more or less just covers like the highlights, the updates, and stuff like that. The guy that got stabbed the other day, breaking into a house. Did you hear about that?
No.
Fucking A. So
Oh, in Canton?
yeah, it's
Yeah, I heard
funny
about
because he was on Rachel's floor when she was working at Alton, and he kept coming in complaining about chest stuff or something, and they would check him out, and they would say, well, you know, you put you in the hospital. He was like, no, and then he would check out, like, what's that called? Without medical advice.
All against medical.
Yeah, AMA.
advice,
You know.
Yeah.
And finally he was like, fuck it, and he just went over and he broke into this house, and then he broke into this house across the street, and it was just this couple was watching TV, and the wife like looked over, and this dude just booted in their door, came in, and I guess the husband like was like, what the fuck are you doing in my house, get out, you know, and the guy like grabbed a knife from the kitchen and like ran in the living room. The dude was like, no, and then just fucking gutted him.
Oh, he took it from
Self-defense.
him.
Yeah.
and
Fucking
Yeah, good
stabbed
cut
job,
him
good
up.
for him, yeah.
And then dude ran out in the street, and I think he died on the way or shortly
He bled to
after.
death.
Yeah, he was fucked. But dude was like everybody. So in that situation, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, the guy obviously had mental issues. The guy's dad, I guess, is calling Altman saying like, why the fuck did you let him go? And they had to explain to him AMA.
If he signed that paper, that is
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah. So, and the guy wasn't, I can't say kid, I think he was like 30 or 40, but he wasn't right. And it sucks. Somebody died. But Jordan Miller interviewed the guy that stabbed me. He said he doesn't want to be on camera or anything, but he said a quote. He's like just don't like call me a hero. He's like, it kind of fucking sucks. I had to stab a guy in my fucking living room.
Yeah.
And then he bled out on the road. He's like, I'll do anything to protect my family because his wife and his kids were there.
That's where it comes from, the hero. Like, it's not that we're saying that was the cool thing to have to do.
Well, that's what
it's just the right thing that you did.
And he's like, I'll probably never feel great about this. Like, and it wasn't a well put together quote, but it was like you read it and you're like, damn, like
That's
at least
real.
he knows,
Yeah.
Somebody could have been like, don't call me a hero, I'll protect anybody, blah blah. But he was like, nah, man, it fucking really sucks. Like, I stabbed a guy and he died. My next note, home defense, stabbing someone, pretty fucking gnarly. Like, I would not.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was a gun.
Much rather have shot somebody
Yeah.
than to stab somebody in my fucking living room / kitchen. That is crazy.
Yeah, getting their blood on you and everything.
If there's like resistance to it too.
It's
It's
like-
like it's
Yeah.
it's meat.
What?
It's easy to just point and
And
click.
you know
Yeah.
the knife
Yeah.
he took out of his kitchen was probably not a
Why?
bougie
Sharp.
like Ginsu fucking like crazy ass
I would
Japanese
love to
knife.
know what knife was used.
It wasn't like
My
katana
knife.
grade. It was probably like a mainstays fucking block knife that he used, like a bread knife or something.
Oh, God.
No.
This thing
Damn.
really
The
looks like
serrated
bagel.
bread knife.
And he's just fucking, I don't know, man. Yeah, like,
12-inch long.
it's either that or like the other spectrum would be like, or the other side of it would be like a cheese knife with a blade this long that's curled. Like, nah, that's even worse, man. Give me the bread knife. But fuck, man, that's just a hard situation to comprehend. I spent the last couple of days thinking about it, and I'm like, man, yeah, it does suck, but just like there's death or suicide by cop. At what point was that guy maybe thinking suicide by random white guy that's packing a fucking
Right.
so he's done, he's checked out, I'm gonna go into somebody's house and that's where
that's where my mind went, because not 9 times out of 10, but a large portion of Eric and I watch Donut Operator on YouTube a lot, which if you have a soft stomach, do not watch this shit. But a lot of the stuff he covers are police. Yeah, but like your mind fills in the blanks. A lot of stuff he covers is like suicide by cop stuff, which you can tell. They don't always come out and say it, but you can tell to a certain degree. Like, you have a lot of police officers pointing firearms at you, and you don't stop. Like, you didn't want to live, How's a guy with a fucking butter knife gonna take out 16 cops and SWAT?
He's not.
Exactly. But it's sad because it does shed a light on mental health issues, which is running rampant in this country right now. And I don't know if it's the fact that people refuse to not just get help, but acknowledge that there's issues or the problem exists, but it's enough to make you sick, honestly.
I think more and more people are, it's more commonplace to hear about mental health issues than it ever has.
Yeah,
like back whenever we were younger, I don't think it was as openly accepted. Like if you had a mental
have
health
the
issue,
internet
let's put you in the padded room because you got something wrong with you. It's different.
Yeah. And it was PTSD was only something that like
Happened to
military people coming out, nobody understood that somebody who just witnessed something horrible happen or fucking it could be.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, it could be.
Because your trauma might not be. We could go through the same thing and we could have handled it.
But how you perceive it,
Our perception could be completely different. But I think it exists on a spectrum. So I love that people talk about it more nowadays. I talk about it pretty frequently because my parents didn't. And I wanted to break that generational curse, that cycle and whatnot. And I talk about it with my kid. And I don't know everything and understand everything yet. But the fact that we have the internet now, which is what I was saying a second ago, is that's why it's so much more talked about. And I feel like it's always been here, it's always existed. It's just now like we're giving it the traction that it needs.
We're accepting it more too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just like, the narrative or the stereotype that men shouldn't have these issues or men shouldn't share their feelings. Eric and I talk about that a lot on the show. We talk about that a lot. Period. Because growing up, I joke around and I say from the time, I was 10 years old to the time I was born, I maybe heard my dad say like 6 fucking words. Like he never talked, he never shared his feelings. Still to this day, like I gotta like beat the shit out of him just to get him to tell me how he's feeling. And believe it or not, like, he tells me more now, but you really gotta, like, drag shit out of him. And he's still, you can tell he's that generation that's not comfortable talking about his feelings. And I'm trying to break that stigma.
It's perceived weakness.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it is. I think,
not.
if anything, it shows strength. But
I agree, but it's just that generation. It was not considered a manly thing to have to express your feelings and problems.
And I'm not saying I'm, like, crying at Target because, fucking didn't like the jeans I was wearing or
I
anything
would
like
after
that.
I see the bill.
But it gives me, I don't know, more hope and more ability to talk about my feelings. And I want to pass that on to my kid, let him know that you don't necessarily need a safe space everywhere you go, but don't be afraid to share, Watch what you say to people, because people suck, and I don't want them sharing the wrong thing to the wrong people, but don't think of that as a weakness anymore.
Like, we have a lot of deconstructing to do of, like, how we have viewed men historically. Like, at one point in time, it was, like, women married you based on pretty much stats. Like, if you could be protector and keep
what you could bring in.
Yeah. Right, and so I feel like men not only were suppressed by them, but also suppressed themselves and their feelings, because I can't come off as anything other than the best match this woman could ever have, because I don't want to be ended up a divorcee, paying child support and stuff like that. And so, like, I feel like we're moving into an era with two-income houses being the trend.
Yeah.
That we all understand that life gets to us and beats us down, and, like, it's better to listen than it is to breaking the chains of society and, like, what things have been fed to us our whole lives. That takes a lot of awareness that can be exhausting, but it's cool that people are talking about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I don't know how much, but I think there's a lot that has to do with like how things are going in this country, and things have been slowly devolving, and, like, people can only deal with so much, and it builds up and builds up and builds up, and then you fucking snap. And it's like kind of the environment of society or whatever getting worse and worse and worse over time, and kind of pigeonholing people into being
The idea of status is changing
on them.
too. Like, the idea of status, so, like, it's so, what I mean is, I'm glad you guys can edit this show, by the way. That's what he told me on the way here. He's like, don't worry, we can edit anything. And I'm like, cool.
Well, yeah.
Probably not, though.
I lost my train of thought. Boom. Yeah.
Sorry. But, like thinking about it now, I grew up, like, not being able, like my mom didn't ask me how I was feeling. Like, how I, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's like you almost need to ask your kids how they're doing. That we constantly are, like, there's screens in our faces all
They're dealing
the time.
with shit that we
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
you get that overload.
Yeah, sensory overload.
More shit to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not really a simple time anymore. There's a lot of shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, the more, take it from me, like, looking at politics and shit, I can only take so much. Like, 3 or 4 weeks, and then it's like, I gotta stay off the phone for a fucking few days. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, like Facebook, I get off of it.
Yeah.
And you know how kids are. They
Pisses
think
me
everything is, they overthink shit. They think everything's the end of the world, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's just a lot of poor stimulation, stress, and all that shit just building up. And, like,
Too much constant stimulation. It's not like I don't think, like, phones and the internet, tablets and stuff are the problem. I just think it's that they're so used to having something in their face all the time. Now, I'm specifically, I guess, talking about kids at this point.
Yeah.
But
Some of the content can be bad too and damaging, which you have to.
Have you ever, by the way,
Watch.
try this sometime with Charlie, when he's not looking and he's watching TV or something, just fucking come behind him and turn it off.
See what happens.
Watch his fucking, like, his head
Yeah,
explode, like, because he doesn't know what just happened.
what'd you do, man?
Yeah, he used to do it with his old tablet, because his old tablet had like a 30-minute battery runtime, because he just beat the shit out of it, and it was just run to hell. So when it would die, he would be like, no, like, he would make noises and shit. And I'm like, bro, we use words, like, calm down. And then, yeah, the stimuli from that, and then what I meant by content-wise was apparently, was it Roblox?
Yeah.
Roblox was
Yeah.
like the #1 thing for, like, online predation and shit, which I did not.
Online what?
Online predators. Did I say predation right or not?
I don't know.
This is why I don't
I'll
let my
roll
kid do
with it.
anything. I feel like a mean mom sometimes, and I'm like, I literally just started letting him play Fortnite again because.
Yeah.
You?
No, not him, my kid.
Oh, you pointed at
No, because he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, literally for his 11th birthday, I was like, all right, man, you can play Fortnite. And I'm like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
please be sensible. We talked about
Yeah.
it.
Too much video games.
Well, not just that, it's weirdos getting on and talking to kids that aren't kids or posing as kids.
Well, Twitch.
Yeah, that was a big
How
one
much
too.
of Twitch is just peddling softcore pornography to minors?
Right.
It's video games. The main audience is
ASM?
not adults.
No.
It's
ASMR,
children.
whatever the fuck that is.
ASMR,
Yeah, that Eric and
I
I
love
where
that
they
shit.
whisper in the phone.
did have a
Weird.
show
I
about
love that shit. I
because I
it's a
thought it was
sensory thing.
porn for blind people.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
what I thought it
Yes.
was. I'm not.
But yeah, like Twitch kind
I'm
of.
not as
I'm not even
cultured as I
familiar.
You gotta watch that episode because Eric and I, we acted like we were.
That was way back.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we acted like we were
Uncomfortable.
very educated in it. No, we came at it with like a blank slate.
Hey,
Like we didn't fucking know. We looked a little bit
what's
up. and
there
we were
to
like,
know?
What's there to?
They
I don't
whisper and make mouth noises into the microphone, and it's
know. Yeah, clicking and popping.
feels like molestation
Oh,
of my ears.
okay.
Does
Thank
make me
you for
uncomfortable.
clarifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that hates when you can hear people chewing? Does that bother you?
After a while, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It never seems to bother me, but like if I'm in a high stress environment or overstimulated or something like that, that's where I get a little more sensitive to things. But at least I keep it wrapped up and I'm not like, shut the fuck up. I just make it my problem.
Like big crowds.
The big crowds are a big.
I don't like big crowds.
No.
either.
That will immediately send me into
That
like
changed for me.
like just very anxious, and it's like I shrink almost in that. Like
I didn't never used to have a bubble, and that bothers me. Like now, I have a bubble, and that bubble is like branching out. Like I don't, which isn't good, because like I don't like strangers being able to touch me. I don't like being in the cart in the aisle and somebody's right there, right here, and I have no way of.
box.
Because in my mind, I'm constantly thinking, like, all right, if Armageddon happened right now, like, how the fuck do I get out of here with the least resistance possible, you know?
Right.
I'm, like, in that aisle thinking, okay, I could take that guy, that grandma's going to give me some shit, she's probably packing. Like, that's constantly what's going through my mind.
I just don't like people.
Yeah.
That's
People
fair.
I don't know.
That's
you
fair.
know?
Yeah.
Strangers.
Even if it wasn't a crowd, even if it's like I went over to my buddy's house and there's 14 people in this room that I don't know. I don't fucking like that shit. I don't, because it's usually, I think a big part of that is like the people I hung out with and whatnot. I was just disappointed over and over and over again. It's like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like you either. It's like, next week, we're hanging out with these. I don't fucking like you either. It's like, you're a dirtbag.
That was
You're-
Thanksgiving.
No, I just like
Sorry, Grandma.
that pattern kind of repeated for a long time, and I think that's why I fucking.
Eric learned the hard way to
People I don't
surround
know.
yourself with better people.
Well, but like
That's
that's
good.
what I'm
Which we
saying.
all
My
have.
friend circle, I am actually glad that I only have a handful of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is.
I
it.
used to resent
Well,
that.
yeah, you start looking at,
I used
like-
to resent that and I've gotten to a
You start
point
looking at
where-
like who's a dirtbag. You know, it's like it's not a high standard to be a decent human being, right?
Agreed.
But then you start looking at like who's a dirtbag and who's not, and you find out it's like
We did a
80%
whole
of people-
show.
80% of the people I'm encountering are fucking shitbags.
Did a
For
whole
one
show
reason or
on
another.
toxic people that's for lack of a better term, that's what we consider toxic, or what I consider toxic, and people that aren't a part of your growth or never want to be a part of your growth. Those are the easiest ones to cut off for me, and it honestly doesn't matter if they're friends or related. Like I've just always kind of had that where if you cross me or you don't do anything for me, like I'll cut you the fuck off, and that took a lot of growing for me to get to that point.
It gets more important as you get older.
Yeah.
Because you have less time.
Yes.
Like you have less time to
Realize
fuck
that,
around.
yeah.
Like you're like we're adults now. Like it's all business for the most part.
Yeah.
You have your close circle.
Well, I mean, like most of the people I'm friends with, I mean, like, I really don't have, like, besides yourselves, I don't have a lot of friends that,
Yeah.
like, I grew up with. I'm like, more friends that I used to work with. I'll have that. I have more work friends than I used to. But I mean, like,
You spend so much time there.
and it's
It
not
makes
that
sense.
like we've talked about.
You
Gary
realize
on
that
here
too,
before.
you agree.
I've never had anything wrong. Me and Gary have never had any problems. It's just like, you lose connection with some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
some
I would
people
love to. I would love to see him again.
You'll
but,
go
I mean,
years without seeing him,
Yeah.
and then you're together with him for an hour, and it's like you picked up.
Part of
and
that's
left
kind
off.
of like utility-wise, right? You have a Facebook account, you got 3,500 friends. It's like, you're gonna try to satisfy 3,500 people?
No.
It's like
I've
that.
been
And as,
there.
like I said, as you get older,
It's
less
dumb.
time, and you just got more to manage and shit like that. And it's like you're gonna have people that you truly like to be around, but they're gonna fall off the radar because you just can't do it. Like,
Exactly.
Digital
it's just too much
availability,
time.
that kind of brings me back to a point I wanted to make earlier. We're talking about kids and how things are so different. This concept of digital availability, since the creation of cell phones and the internet, it drives me personally insane that people want you to be able to look at and respond. I know you got your phone on. Actually,
yeah.
I literally go hours without touching my phone. I know that's a strange concept for
Yeah.
this younger generation to understand, but that's a part of mental health too. Not setting those boundaries that, like, I cannot always be available. I'm not just gonna jump whenever you say jump, and
Yeah.
that these screens that they have and everything everywhere, that worries me that they're gonna. We need to be showing them the example that it's okay to put up boundaries and to make people respect your time. And
Yeah, that's the big thing
Oh,
too.
yeah,
What kills
yeah.
me is if I go out to eat with somebody, and I am in no way taking a shot at my wife, but if I'm out to eat, my phone's down. I'm even if I'm with my kid, who we all know is like as stimulating conversation as a fucking rock sometimes, but I want to talk to him. I want to talk to my wife. I want to talk to my parents or Eric. We're out. I try not to be on my phone in public that much. Even when I'm in line at the BMV the other day,
Yeah.
I sat at the BMV. I didn't fucking touch my phone. I stayed in my pocket. Literally every other fucking person in there was on their phone, and I felt like comfortable because that was me. But I also felt like this fucking weird. Like should I pull out my phone just to belong,
Yeah.
or like should I keep my eyes up? Like
You're sitting in a waiting room, and everybody else is on their phone, but you're the guy watching the TV that's on the wall.
yeah, and you feel weird. You
Right.
That happened
feel weird.
when I went to do my drug test, like the
Yeah.
or the when I was getting shit done. Yeah, there's 5 other people in there. They're all on their phones. I'm sitting there watching the fucking news. Like when I take Dad to his
Yeah.
physical therapy appointments. same
Or I'll
thing.
read a magazine or something like.
Yeah.
They got them crusty ass magazines that no one's touched since fucking Obama was around, and I'm picking up National Geographic. Well, that's a bad example because there's titties in there, but you know what I mean. Like I'll read a fucking magazine, highlights or something. That's another bad example because that's for kids. But like you know what you get
Yeah.
it. ESPN. I should live with that.
There you go.
But there's just. And I make it a big point. Like if I meet somebody new, like let's say we weren't doing this, but we were going out to eat or something. My phone wouldn't be down. I would be engaged in conversation with all of you guys, or trying to at least, because I don't know. That's my
There's these
personal feelings.
there's
about
these
it.
basic human interactions that I think we all like I think it comes down to like science. Like we crave that.
Yeah.
Like kids with their, even we can go back to like the
Game Boys.
internet, Game Boys, stuff like
Yeah.
that. But guess what? Like whenever I say something to my kids about going outside, they go, "Get to go outside."
What do I do out there?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the curiosity, the things that they could do. Like, so there still is like an inherent want to do
Yeah.
things and interact with people, and
But is it because it's different?
it could be because it's different.
Which is good too. I'll fucking take that. Charlie, he likes to play outside. Now, obviously not now because it's cold. There's a large amount of dog shit in the yard. But if it was warmer out, like I'd go out and start doing like yard work or chores
Yep.
like that. He's out there with me, which I think is cool. I hope that doesn't change, but you never know. Just a lot of being a parent. Not a shot at you. Being a parent nowadays is fucking terrifying. It's
you
hard.
can survive
God.
parenthood. You can survive anyhood.
Why would you think that was a shot at me?
Well, but I
agree.
didn't want to exclude you. Because
Oh no,
I mean, I survived my ex-wife. I could survive anything.
see, I was wondering. We got to
kids.
over an hour without bringing up the she devil herself.
I
So
don't have kids, and I know that's terrifying.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know how you guys do it. I'll be honest. Like you.
Being responsible for yourself is a fucking nightmare.
Everybody-
and being responsible
Everybody I
for
fucking
someone
work
else
with,
too.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
I got this one guy I work with. He started a side business. He's got 3 small children. He sleeps probably 2 hours a night. He gets the kids to bed, and from like 9 p.m. till 3 a.m., knowing he's got to be back at work at 7, he's out in the fucking barn working. And I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't.
It's hard.
Kudos to you. Like, holy shit. And like, a lot of it makes me think, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. But like, yeah,
You adapt.
I see everybody around me going hard to the paint, because they have to, and they fucking do it. I'm just like, man, I don't know if I can.
That's
crazy.
my privilege. Sometimes I do. Like, I'm really glad I don't have to live on a farm. Like, I joke about it sometimes, running away to the mountains and taking care of myself and being all self-sustaining. But I do check my privilege a lot that we live in a society where commodities are pretty common. Like, I'm glad that I only get 2 hours of sleep a night. I have a cushy job, work from home, have a computer. Like,
shit just gets a little more expensive. We got to deal with the ups and downs, but yeah, there is, and I do that. I catch myself bitching about everything sometimes.
Yes.
And I literally have to sit at the end of my bed when I'm watching TV or whatever, and I look over and I see, Rachel passed out, Charlie passed out, dog taking up half the fucking room, and all the things that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm in that moment. I'm at a piece that I'm not at every day, every second of every day, but I'm fortunate enough that I have that peace.
It's like,
I feel fortunate.
The other night I was like, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say gratitude takes practice, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's a weird
repetition
feeling.
and whatnot,
Yeah.
because like I've noticed more and more recently. Like the other night, I was laying in bed and it started raining, and I was like, "It's nice and warm in this bed, thank God."
Right? When we have like a freezing
And then
snow.
I'll
and shit
find
like
myself
that.
thinking about like, what do I do if the roof caves in? Like putting together contingency plans and shit so that I can keep
Smart.
this warm bed.
Grab the cat.
Shit like that. Like, can I go down to the basement? Yeah, I could probably sleep on the floor. Fuck it. I got some mummy bags down there. It'll be all right.
Well, you think when
just
other
start
people
thinking through contingency plans and shit. It's like, I'm not giving this up.
don't like fall in that groove of thinking like what you don't have, because that's a big thing with me.
Yes.
Like, I'm at a point where like material things are starting to get more important because of like what I can afford and stuff and what I want. Starting to get to the point where I can have my dreams come true if I play the cards right. But I constantly think about what I don't have, when I should be thinking of like what other people don't have that I have.
Yeah.
And again, that sounds weird the way I said that, but being fortunate for what you have goes a lot longer, a lot further than it did. Because you think like 10 years ago, at the space you're at right now, whether it's financially or emotionally, mentally, physically, think back to where you were 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was hiding my fucking car from the repo man. I was, stretching out $13 to eat a week. 10 years ago, I could barely afford rent. I was,
Yeah, I think about
taking
like,
Xanax.
I think about like, if there's a fire, how many of my
That wasn't
guns can I
prescribed.
carry out of the house?
yeah, but that
Do I choose the guns or the computer?
10 years ago, you didn't have either. But now you have that
Actually, no,
stuff.
that computer's 10 years old.
Jesus.
Okay, so you have at least the computer. At least that.
So think about like all the opportunity that you've had to buy all those guns. Soon we'll have the opportunity to shoot some of those guns that you haven't shot, or haven't shot yet but bought.
Oh, side note
But
about that. The ATF issued its final ruling on the pistol brace thing.
they get shot down.
No, it's an
pun
SBR.
intended.
They went through all that just to call it a fucking SBR.
Yeah, it's an SBR. It's subject to the NFA now. It's gonna get
Oh
tied.
no!
It's
That
gonna get
hurts
tied up
so
in the courts and all
bad.
that, and
You go through all that I'm not gonna get into it. That's fine.
it's not legislation. They're not legislators. They're not elected officials. They're not supposed to be making laws like that.
You go through all that shit just to literally.
Actually, there was a case last year for all those scholars out there. There's a case last year called EPA versus West Virginia that I think the Supreme Court overturned, and that
It's so ironic.
what that case showed was that regulatory agencies like the EPA were basically allowed to make rules. So when they overturned it last year, that basically nullified anything the ATF has ever done, but there hasn't been any action on it yet.
Except in the states of New York and California, right?
What do you mean?
Well, their big ATF hand-me-downs were mag capacities.
I'm talking about the ATF, right?
Yeah.
They make these rules, and they're basically enforced as law.
That's what I mean.
They are not lawmakers. They are not Congress.
So are you saying now that the magazine ban in New York is lifted?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
We'll have to look that up.
That case that got overturned last year basically set the precedent that, hey, regulatory agencies like the ATF and the EPA are not allowed to make laws.
Because those stricter laws
They're not allowed to make rules because they're not allowed to make laws.
made being a gun owner in California and New York very hard. And I know a lot of people actually moved out of those
I
states.
wonder how
just
people in
because
Western
of
New York feel about that.
Yeah, it's funny because the whole
beautiful New
population of
York?
that state's concentrated in New York City.
Yeah.
Hard blue area.
Yeah.
And the rest of the goddamn state is
Rural
farms and
as
rural
fuck.
area.
That's what
And
I'm
it's like,
thinking.
yeah,
Like,
hunting. They're deer hunting.
like the, you,
Great.
that's
if
a
you-
big state too.
Yeah, if you live like in Western New York or even upstate
Northern,
New York,
yeah.
like you
Fucking
must feel
outskirts of
like you
Buffalo.
don't matter at all
Yeah, pretty
in
much.
that state.
Yeah.
That's how you must feel.
You're 20 miles from the Vermont border, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
just seething because you're jealous.
But you can't have
Yes.
a gun that holds more than 10 rounds. It's fucking weird.
There was I saw a headline. There's another state that's trying to limit it to 9. I was
Jesus
like,
Christ.
9?
What that does, that directly affects the
Why?
manufacturer and the type
Yeah,
of
there's
firearms
no
you
9-round
have.
magazines out there. It's all.
I don't know shit about nothing with guns, but that makes no sense to me.
Seems pretty
Yeah,
Like what? Oh, well, go from
That's
10.
the point.
You know what?
That's
no.
what it's getting
Usually-
to. It's getting like little jabs here and there to get back at these
That's why nothing
guys.
ever gets done.
And then you have the NRA, which is fucking
The
even worse
NRA
sometimes.
is worthless.
And they're poking at each
I
other,
should
and
say.
we're the ones that are facing.
They're not worthless. They file a lot
Shit.
of lawsuits on my behalf, and I appreciate that, but they're just as much a political body as the fucking Congress is.
We're like a bully,
There
but
was
they're
a-
not strong enough to be a bully.
No, they play both sides because they want to drum up revenue.
Smart.
They play off of fear to
Not
drum up
ethical, but
revenue.
smart.
There was a gun organization that Mitch mentioned the one time. He straight up told us, become a member of this, don't become a member of the NRA, but I can never remember the name of it.
I'd have to look it up. I know the NRA, like, they give you all this fucking glamorous shit up front, like, oh, if you shoot somebody, we'll provide your lawyer. If you fucking, we'll pay your court
That's-
fees and
We
shit
have
like
USCCA for that now.
that. Yeah, and they just
Don't get me wrong, I think the fact that you need concealed carry insurance is a fucking sin. And, it's retarded.
Yeah.
It really is.
What
That's
does that
all.
even entail?
they
it's
pay for
if-
your court costs and you're
Yeah,
bailing,
if you get-
bailing you out and shit like that.
It's mandatory?
If you shoot, even if you shoot somebody in self-defense and the cops who are supposed to, be the authority on whether it's a good shooting or not, if the cops deem it's a good shooting, apparently, in some places, obviously, like Jersey, New York, California, you can still be, like, brought to civil court by the
No matter what.
person's family
yeah.
or whatever. Which is just retarded. That's just retarded logic. It
Will.
doesn't fucking work.
Not could, you will be.
But yeah, you can still get
he
sued
was a
out
good
the
one.
ass even though somebody threatened your life and you shot them and they die. So the USCCA is a U.S. Concealed Carry Association. You could sign up to be a member. They have lawyers. They have funds to be able to pay for your defense and shit like that. The fact that we need that is a sin to me.
The other
Really
side of
is, 'cause
that,
the cops are supposed to look at the situation and see, was this a lawful shooting or not? And if they say yes, it stops right fucking there. That's it. And then if they deem it's not a lawful shooting, then they fucking charge you.
you're going to
Or
get
the
sued
DA
by
charges
somebody.
you or whatever, and then you go through the legal system.
But the other side of that is if you shoot somebody and you don't kill them, they're going to try and stick you with a bunch of fees and medical bills for this person that you put harm onto, and they're going to try and fight that and fight that and fight
yeah,
that
and
because it's not cheap.
the sad thing is that you get people that say if you have to shoot somebody, make
should
sure you
kill 'em.
fucking kill them.
That's for other.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
That's
That
for other
is sad.
reasons. I don't necessarily think that's like a cost cutting, for lack of
No,
better
but
phrase.
It's a legality
it's
thing.
people-
That people
Yes.
can talk.
First and foremost, your ability to finish a situation like that has got to be your own personal safety. So if I'm continuing to shoot this person, it's because they're coming at me still, or they're
Just
reaching
shoot
for
him
their
in the
gun.
leg, like Biden said.
But
Right.
there's also that thing that they, may or may not sneak into a lot of CCW classes where dead men tell no tales. Meaning, if I do wound this person, they can make up whatever fucking lie they want.
Yeah.
'Cause now I'm not wearing a body camera. I'm not doing this in front of CCTV. They can just as easily turn around and say, at that point, it's going to be your record versus them, which is also a good incentive
That
to
makes me really
not
angry,
have
actually. That's
a
It's
shitty
fucked up.
And then you have
record.
to worry
Well,
about
it
who
was
has
like,
a better lawyer.
Do you remember that?
That true.
Do you remember that donut video where the guy was like high on PCP or whatever? He had the other guy around the neck and he was like stabbing him in the chest or whatever. And the cop like put like 6 in his back and he just
Yeah,
kept
you
going.
move. Yeah.
Cop had to shoot him in the head.
wow.
And it's like,
It's actually
yeah,
one,
shoot him in the leg.
No.
Like Biden says.
Right.
Fuck it.
Oddly enough,
fucking
well, that's
stupid.
not. That's can we train our cops to like shoot the wound? No, we can't. That is laughable to the highest degree. There was a other concerning one was oddly enough in a Walmart where 3-4 cops, responding officers, I think it was 2 squad cars, to a guy stealing shit, and they ended up trying to arrest him in front of the cash registers. He was actually able to muscle off 3 of the cops, and they all jumped on him. And this guy, being a larger man, was able to reach in his waistband and pull out a fucking Glock. And they had to put 2 guys on one of his arms, and the cop literally had to shoot him in the head at point blank range. He survived. But again, at what point is that not suicide by cop? Mm-hmm. He was there with his wife. His wife witnessed all of this.
Yeah.
What mental capacity do you have that you... Wow, that's all I have to say.
But you know the softies would tell you, you can't put them in a spot where they feel cornered.
No, you talk about... well, see, here's the thing.
That's fucking hilarious.
You talk about mental capacity. I don't necessarily think his intention was suicide by cop. I think, and we see this a lot, people resisting arrest and whatnot. It's like, if the cops are going to bring you in, you're not getting away. You're not getting away.
Yeah.
And if you can't recognize that, no matter what you did, they're gonna put warrants out for you. You fuck up bad enough, they're gonna put the U.S. Marshals out on you. The FBI. There's so many layers to law enforcement and their resources to be able to find your ass. You're not getting away. You're not. If they want your ass, they're gonna fucking find you and they're gonna fucking bring you in. And we see it all the time. But why are you resisting?
They're not in a right state of mind, either drugs or a psychotic break.
Oh, I think a lot of times I think it's retarded people. I think it really is people that are so low on the spectrum that
they think they're gonna pull it out and dirty Harry their way in a shootout.
They think they're gonna get away.
They
think they're gonna get away. They can't weigh. They cannot weigh the situation against them accurately to be like, all right, I'm not gonna fuck around. They're gonna bring me in. We'll fucking sort this out. Any reasonable person would fucking think that.
Delusion of
it's just non-stop resisting arrest, running from the cops, all this shit. And it's like, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Even if you run. Even if the squad cars don't catch up to you. They're going to fucking find you.
Yeah. Maybe they just don't look like a pussy. Like I went on guns blazing, bitches.
But I think it really is just people that are so, they just can't reason.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which makes me think
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Well, this is actually a good place. We're at 1:17, so
we'll get down to it.
Flew by.
I know, it usually does. Mm-hmm. So, Eric, if you can hold your piss, can you tell the fine people where to find us?
You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, Ghana, at Harm's Way Podcast. Video will be uploaded to YouTube at Harm's Way Podcast. Also, Rumble at Harm's Way Podcast. Search by channel, not by video. TikTok, Harm's Way 8993. Instagram's also Harm's Way Podcast. Craig, I think, is still in the process of uploading the last batch of clips because I dropped like 30 of them on him.
We got 20 down so far.
Ooh, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, we're at almost 400 likes, 17 followers, nothing. Whoa, you know.
Just wait. It's coming.
Other than that, I'd like to thank you guys both for joining us today. This was
thank you.
Stimulating conversation, a great show.
Thanks for stepping up.
Yeah.
You came in here.
It's not that bad, is it?
Out.
My
first impression.
Yeah, you came in here blind and just
it's fun.
Stepped up.
Absolutely.
It's not that creepy of a basement, but yeah.
I did make a joke about being murdered as we came down here.
That's
why I said, "Oh, he's supposed to get
We
away
always
with
joke
that."
about that, like having guests. We're like,
not that many people.
Stansbury's not going to come down here.
But yeah, give us a like, comment, shout, give us some love because you know we got love for you. Again, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Eric's about to piss.